Welcome to IT Mastermind Talks, your access to insights and experiences from thought leaders in the IT services industry and those that support the industry. Our podcast features not only the seasoned professionals charting their start to exit journey, but also the key contributors who help ensure their success. We delve into the diverse challenges encountered within the IT services realm, encompassing both professional hurdles and personal obstacles. Join us, be part of our growing community and engage in the conversation. Hosted by Ian Markram of Loading Growth.
Hi, I often get asked why businesses succeed and other businesses fail. People always want to know that one single, most important reason why they fail and why they succeed. The only thing I can really say after all the coaching I've been doing for the last 9 years, close to 130 clients that I've coached, is if you don't have a plan, you will fail. That's probably the most important component of reason why I see people fail. We have a process we take people through, and that process is quite interesting. And I'm sharing it today for you folks to use that process and help you with your business. When we run this process, it's really a 12-month process around planning to succeed in your IT services business. The first piece is really around getting the team behind it, making sure the team actually wants to do a plan. The hardest thing about a strategy and a plan is people don't want to do it. People don't want to admit to the fact that their business is not going anywhere for the last 4 to 5 years maybe, or they're starting out, it's too daunting. But you've got to put an anchor down. You've got to put something down on the ground to say, hey, enough's enough. We want to succeed. And that's really important. I think it's a mind shift. So the first thing I always say is trying to bring the team on board, making sure that the team is fully aware of what we are trying to achieve around the planning and the planning process and the strategy. And I call that really the onboarding day. Really important. In that onboarding day, you probably could end up doing a survey, okay? A survey to talk about what's worked and what's not worked within the business. Do a retrospective of the business to where you are at the moment. You want to draw that line in the sand, or as what some people will say, you want to start the bridge, the one side of the bridge. I'll get back to that later. It's really important in that survey to make sure that you ask the critical questions. Are we hitting the numbers? Do we have great successful projects, delivery and outcomes for our clients? Are the staff or the members that work for us, are they happy working for our organization? The other point is really around looking at probably what we call internally the 9 levers. The 9 levers that make your business a complete business. And those 9 levers, you can probably look on our website and get some of that information from there to help you put that information into a form or assessment of some sorts. We run an assessment for our clients when they join, and we run them through that 9-lever process. Once you've done that sort of team building to get on board, the next thing is around, we call it as a clarity day. And we run that normally, it takes about 8 hours to go through this process. And in that process, you really want to make sure that we focus on getting the few fundamental things right. And the first thing we start off with is the vision. And I wanted to talk a bit about that in the next video that'll follow this video. It's important, is around the vision. Straight after that, we want to talk about, what is the plan for year 1, year 2, year 3? Hell of important to understand, what are we going to achieve in year 1, 2, and 3? And is that revenue and profitability? Now, if you're a business owner or in the leadership team and you're listening to this video, that's fantastic, but it all comes down to profitability. It all comes down to how much money we take away in our back pocket at the end of the day. Hell of important to really, make sure the business owners are actually getting some return on investment. Because what will happen if you don't is over a period of time, the fantasy of running an IT services business will start to dissolve, and you'll end up being drained of energy, and you won't be able to make this a sustainable business. I've seen it plenty of times where companies have been sold for dirt cheap or virtually nothing because they have just basically collapsed with no more energy in the leadership team or the business owners. Okay, so it's really important to make sure that you really have an understanding around your profitability and your numbers. And a lot of business owners, unfortunately, don't. There are a lot of stats out there where they talk about companies that are actually not profitable. Small businesses to mid-sized businesses are actually not profitable, that are business owned and led. So we've got to make sure we keep that fundamental in place. Once we've done that year 1, 2, and 3, it's probably worthwhile getting, once you put this into probably a spreadsheet or a PowerPoint pack, there is plenty of software out there to actually do this. We recommend a certain company that basically runs strategy software for our clients. So if you would like to hear a bit more about that, just ping me a link below or ask me questions in the comment section, and we'll get someone over to send you the information about that. But that strategy software is hell of important. The biggest challenge is once you've done a strategy and put something in place, is how do you keep yourself accountable? And what we've noticed in the past around spreadsheets and PowerPoints and everything else, Word documents, is that people forget those really quickly. You need a tool that brings you back to the tool, to the strategy software, to actually make sure that you're using it correctly and make sure that you're living and breathing the actual process with that software. We'll talk a bit about, the rhythms that you want to have in your business, making sure that everyone's aligned in the business. So once you've got that into the strategy software, you got to look at things that, what else are the big tickets, the big rocks in your business? And that's what, we'll go through normally with our clients. We do a roadmap checklist. We go through what every level it takes a client or a business to get through. We have 3 levels, and basically it's the foundation level, the mid-level, and then the large level, and basically the different sizes of consultancy firm. So if you're a 10-man consultancy firm, you're probably on the base level. If you're a 30-man consultancy firm, you're probably at the mid-level. And if you're 30 and above, you're probably at the top level, as we call it. There are certain actions to go through that. There's a lot of information on our websites. Go and look for the roadmap, the Everest roadmap. It'll help you gain an insight into things you should do and you shouldn't do. And more importantly, what is the right next step, and not to have 500 initiatives or 30 initiatives in your business. Okay, so please make sure that you have a look at that for the collateral. The next thing is having a company calendar. What you're actually doing together as a company, the joint events, the joint get-togethers, the joint back to bases. If you're a remote company or fairly remote, if you're running company meetings, the leadership teams, sales meetings, make sure everyone knows the rhythm of the business. And a company calendar is hell of important to have that in place. What we also do on the Clarity Day is really focus on the preloaded calendar, trying to free up the leadership team from some of those meetings that they shouldn't be attending, and they also making sure that they're attending the right meetings and have the right actions out of those meetings. It's no point having meetings for the sake of having meetings. We've all been there, and we realize you're burning so much time and so much energy and your own money if you're the owner, attending meetings that aren't driving value back to the business. Okay, so make sure you look at that preloaded calendar. We then, what we normally do is we talk a bit about the process around the boardroom calls. Okay, and then we talk about the monthly check-ins, making sure you have those things in there as well, and the quarterly rocks that are going to drive. So we want to make sure we understand those things in the Clarity Day. Okay, and last of all, we have a bit of a scorecard. You can actually create your 5 to 6 KPIs that you think you'll need to run your business effectively over the next 1, 2, and 3 years. Once we've done the Clarity Day, it's a bit of a workshop mode. You probably could take those actions away, and then, it might be a couple of sessions after that you actually formalize the plan itself and the strategy and how you will take your business and grow your business. Okay. Now, a lot of people come to me and they say, look, they want to grow the business, 50, 60% year on year. And that's quite difficult in the services environment. Unless you've got scalability, offshoring, or you've got a managed services environment, where you can actually have a lot of that stuff that you can scale with. It's quite difficult. So just make sure, a little bit of a point I always say is 20 to 30% of sustainable growth is normally what we try to help our clients grow every year on year. Because you want to have fun while you're doing this, and you want to keep on making sure that you don't burn your staff out and yourself as you go through this amazing journey with your business. What we do is we try and formalize certain things when we work with our clients, and something you could take away from this call or the session is really around having a weekly a boardroom call. And you just got to really talk about that with your team, your leadership team, or even if it's one or two people, get them together in the company and talk about the wins. What issues that you've currently, gone on the actual agenda for the moment or coming up for that week? What projects are on track, internal and external? And also, more importantly, keep an eye on sales. Okay. When I do a retrospective on clients or they phone me out of the blue, or someone gives me a call and say, Ian, we need your help, I tend to ask, is it sales? And normally they do say it's sales. So it's either, sales aren't going well, lack of hiring the people, the right quality deliveries, or up for sale, or basically they're having a dispute with the internal partners of the company, or they're not getting the rhythm or alignment within the parties that run the company. So just make sure that these things are part of your rhythm, that you're covering those 5 or 6 points that I've just mentioned, and making sure that you actually keep those in front of mind at all time. We then talk about from the weekly, we talk about the monthly check-ins. You want to have a team health survey. You've got a lot of that stuff out there. You can scrape off the net if you're not part of our loading growth community. And those team surveys are really important to see how healthy you are as a team or as a company. And then once again, with the monthly and the weekly, you go back to that strategy. You go back to understanding what are the rocks you're trying to achieve and how you're moving that needle in your business. And that strategy software you'll have, as I mentioned, in the weekly and the monthly check-ins as well. Okay. And you do a retro every time, find out what's working and not working, and you tweak it, and you just keep on refining that strategy in that strategy software. All right. Then the last piece we take our clients through, when they join us, is about, the way we measure. So we have quarterly business reviews. And if you're running this by yourself, I would say, have a 4-hour quarterly business review. That's different agenda to what we've just mentioned in the weeklies and monthlies calls. Okay. The QBRs, as we call them, the quarterly business reviews, a hell of important. You'll do 3 of those a year. It depends on how big your business is, but you'll probably find 4 hours is enough if you get the right routine and the right agenda set up. Do those religiously, book them up in your company calendar, and make sure they're locked in. So basically there's no excuses that you're too busy not to do them. Because I see that all the time. Humans, we're lazy generally, and we default back to chaos. And chaos is our worst enemy. And if we do not have a structure to set us free, then we'll go back to chaos, and we'll miss the opportunities to 10x our organization, to really make a fundamental shift. And as business owners and leaders in our organizations, we've got to make sure that we're doing 10x items, not 2x. I'll cover that next as well, in the next video probably. Once you've done the QBRs, you probably want to have a board meeting straight after that and make sure they officially tick things off. Sign any paperwork away if you need to. Hell of important. And then the 4th session, obviously you do the 3 QBRs. The 4th session is the annual planning session. I normally tend to tell clients, do that 2 to 3 months out before the new financial year. It takes you a while to think about what you got to do. It takes a while to understand what didn't work the year before. So please take the time, set aside, and actually get everyone involved in this process to see that there is a future in your business, to see that things that you did wrong last year are going to be set or hopefully adjusted for the following year. Okay. So, make sure that you've got another, agenda similar to the QBR agenda. You can have that for the annual planning agenda. And do a roadmap review against our roadmap. Make sure you've got those quarterly rocks sorted out, reset realign as an organization, keep everyone aligned, and make sure you got the vision, repurposed the revision again, the vision, and making sure that you really understand that vision is really important to keep that alignment. When I had a consultancy firm of 115 people, what we used to do all the time is every quarter we would actually get together in a remote location and actually get the leadership team together to go through a realignment to make sure that we were still on the same page. Now, alignment is hell of important. If you're married or you got a partner, you get together every now and then, you're probably realigning on a consistent basis, but you don't really even talk about it. In the real world of business, you're always out of alignment. Okay, so you've got to take that time on a quarterly basis to spend time with each other, quality time, to realign and make sure that you guys as a team are focused on the major nuggets, the rocks that are going to drive your business forward. Okay, so hell of important to do that realignment, and it'll help you. Everyone's going in the right direction, but they're slightly disaligned, and that could cause conflict, and small pebbles in your shoes end up being big issues, big rocks that you can't get over as a company. So please bear that in mind. Okay, hopefully that gives you a bit of insight on how we onboard our clients and take them through the roadmap process of building out a business plan and using strategy around that really enforces everything. As usual, the strategy software that we recommend is really the foundation component, the platform, but all those blocks and pieces have got to be in place to make sure that you actually execute it. And there's no point having a great plan if you don't do it. And that's the hardest thing. Until next time, thanks very much. Bye.
Thanks for joining us on IT Mastermind Talks. Don't miss out on our next episode. Hit the follow button and stay updated. Want to be our next podcast guest? Contact us and share your expertise with our audience. Visit www.itmastermindtalks.com for more information.